Hello everyone. In today's video lecture of CAD CAM, we'll discuss about reverse engineering, which is a part of manufacturing process. That too specially belongs to CAM process. Now you can call it as one of the process in computer aided manufacturing, where you can develop the component by using reverse engineering method also. Today in this lecture we'll see what are all the applications, what actually reverse engineering is all about, and what is the difference between forward engineering and reverse engineering, and why we use it, what are the reasons behind, and what are the different softwares that we are going to use in this particular software to develop a component. Those are all discussions we'll try to see in today's session. Now under this computer manufacturing, this is one of the process which is completely different from other manufacturing process like flexible manufacturing system or computer aided process planning or group technology, what we have come across in our previous lectures. Those are all about improving the productivity or accuracy of a component based on the software or the technological improvements in so and so processes. Now this reverse engineering is totally different, where you can develop the component from a bottom up process, you can call it as, in this particular reverse engineering method. What actually reverse engineering is all about? Okay, it is all about reproduction. Reverse engineering nothing but reproduction of any component, nothing but reproduction of another manufacturer's product, you can call it as. Reproduction of another manufacturer's means there is already an existing component where we would like to extract the data like the dimensions or the geometry, then we'll try to reproduce it. Okay, means in other words you can also call it as use it to duplicate the component. Okay, use it to duplicate the component or whatever the part to enhance the object. Okay, while in the process of doing this, we can improve some more features of the existing component in the process of doing. But in actual practice, we call it as reproduction by extracting the geometry or the dimensions of that particular component. Now, in other words, you can also call it as use it to disassemble a program. Okay, like already an existing program is there, we'll try to retrieve it, we'll try to get the essence out of it, and we use it for some other process. Okay, basically whenever you talk about reverse engineering, there are three steps need to be remembered. Three major steps need to be remembered. Number one out of which is implementation recovery. Okay, the firstly I just mentioned it as 3 stages to implement this particular reverse engineering. Number one in this particular reverse engineering, number one is implementation recovery. Number 2, design recovery. Number 3, analysis recovery. Means the name itself indicates that we are trying to recover the already existing data. The data could be in numbers, the data could be the shape and size of the component by using different techniques. We are going to discuss all the techniques in the process of this particular lecture. Now implementation recovery. Now how to implement the procedure, how to implement the process, how they have defined while producing a new component, that we'll try to do it in our own way. Number 2, design recovery, nothing but the geometrical information, topological information or dimensional information, any tolerance information that can be recovered from an existing component. For example, there is a component, okay, I would like to recover dimensions of this particular component or a pen. This I can do by different ways. Means I can scan the model, I can pick the data out of it, then I can import that particular cloud data to any of the software to create surfaces, then followed by creating a 3D model or a prototype. Thirdly, it is all about analysis recovery. Okay, what are all the different analysis that they have performed on an existing component and what they found, what are all the results they found, that also we'll try to check it out. Once we're done with all the 3 criteria, then we can go up with some other new things, new features or new analysis techniques added to it. Okay, these are all the ways, these are the 3 stages that we can perform this particular task. Now what is the first step need to be followed? I would like to give few more examples to make you understand in the further process. The first and foremost step, I'll use some other color here. First step need to be followed is in reverse engineering. Firstly, capture data from an existing part. Okay, what is that? Capturing data from existing part or component. Means the way I have explained, Capturing data in sense the geometrical information, topological information related, or any dimensional information related, etc. Similarly, you can capture the data, and depending on part size, different scanning techniques are also available. Now, it is not compulsory that always the component has to be in small in size and shape. There might be big components like a turbine casing or a turbine disc. So in such cases, what we try to do is, it all depends on the what you call part size or a component size. Depending upon components size, different scanning techniques are used. I'm just making this statement just to make you understand. Okay, one thing is, mainly this particular reverse engineering, under this process, firstly we'll try to capture the data. The data could be dimensions or geometrical information or topological information related physically. Depending upon the component size and shape, we'll try to go with different techniques, scanning techniques. Okay, we can scan the model to get the cloud data out of it in terms of x, y, z and z coordinates. Okay. Now this scanning is performed by using different ways. Okay. Firstly, we are very much familiar, now I just mention here, scan equipments. Firstly, let us name it as coordinate measuring machine, which we all are very much familiar with. This particular coordinate measuring machine will help you to scan the data by using laser, okay, or else by using a probe. Means I can scan the data with the help of a laser light from one side to the other. Once it is done, you can get the x, y, z coordinate data, okay, in the form of cloud. So that data has to be saved in STL format. Cloud data has to be saved in STL format. Now that is again imported to any of the modeling software. Now this particular CMM is directly connected to one of the PC, okay, personal computer, where an existing interface of software is available for this particular CMM, which will automatically take the data. Okay, from that we'll save the cloud data in STL format, and we'll pick the data or import the data to any of the 3D modeling software, like maybe a SolidWorks, maybe Creo or CATIA, okay, Unique Graphics, or one more 3D printing software is available, which is Reno. Okay, you can take the data in any of the modeling softwares to create surfaces by using that particular XYZ data. Okay, then that is again, if you want to get the prototype of it before you analyze the data, you can again give it to a 3D printer for the printing of that particular component. Okay, probing is something different, which is not like laser. You have to pick each and every position. For example, I would like to scan from this point to this point, this distance. Okay, now throughout the direction or the distance, I need to touch the probe to that particular component. Laser is something which is non-contact, whereas probe is something which is a contact kind of method. I have to pick the points linearly from one position to the next. But linear, probing is possible when the member is completely flat. Okay, when you have any curvilinear structures, you need to pick lot more number of probing positions, which might not be proper all the time. So laser is the best way to get or extract the data out of whatever the existing component is there. Fine. Now probing is used mostly for flat surfaces. Now other than this CMM, there is one more equipment available, is Faro. This is the latest technology. Faro, mostly under existence with much of the companies. Faro is an equipment with number of what you call degrees of, which will have more degrees of freedom, like the way human hand will have. Now which will help you to take the data from any of the positions easily by probing method or by laser method. These two are again available with Faro also, and with available what you call much accuracy and precision compared to CMM machine. Okay. And the data is automatically stored in the database that can again be taken and modeled the way we do in CMM. Thirdly, white light scanner. Okay, now these two, CMM and Faro, can be used in any conditions, like for example under room temperature or outside the room, any other conditions that can be scanned. If you have very bright light or dark light, that can be performed. Whereas white light scanner is completely different. You can scan the model under dark room only. Okay, under the dark room, the equipment itself will have a white light kind of screen which is laid on a flat surface, on which we try to place the component, and it will try to pick the data out of that particular component. Out of these three, Faro is most famous, most familiar, under existence with much of the companies right now. Faro is very much familiar. Try to go through in depth of this particular equipment so that you have good idea regarding. Okay. This is all about equipments that we are going to use. And one more point, what is the role of design, reverse engineering in design field. Okay, let us make a point here. Role of reverse engineering in design. How does it help? It helps in analyzing the product. I just make a point here. Product analysis or recreation using physical part. Okay. If there is, for example, some existing part is there, you can also call it as recreation using physical part. Okay, as a starting point. Now this physical part acts as a starting point of reverse engineering, first step of reverse engineering. Okay, now what else we can do in this particular design part is, during design process, prototype can be prepared just to have a visual effect how the part is going to be after fabrication. During design process, prototype or some clay model can be prepared. During design process, some prototypes or some clay models can be prepared in order to what you can call in order to test the model, in order to evaluate the model. I can say prototype is prepared to in order to test, okay, or else validate, or you can call it as you can evaluate whether it will withstand to the conditions or not, or will it behave according to the existing component. How does the existing component is behaving to the conditions. In the same way, whether the component which we are going to prepare through reverse engineering will behave or not. Okay, these are all done at a level called conceptual design. Now, as I said, this model, we try to extract the data of an existing component. Will there be any permissions or not? Will there be any permissions or not? Will it be okay or not? Do we need to take the permission of the firm or an organization where the existing part has been produced? In such way, you need to think about. I mean to say whether the reverse engineering procedure is legal or illegal. To be frank, it becomes legal when you take permission from the organization which has already produced the component. You need to take permission from them. Accordingly, you can prepare your own model, you can change the material, you can change few of the features, okay, and the model can be used for further processes. Okay, otherwise it becomes completely illegal. It becomes illegal. Fine. So that need to be keep in mind. Unless you take the permission, that can become an illegal activity. So you can think of any of the existing general things like the TV, existing televisions, air conditioners, refrigerators, all these take the case study of an existing component only. New things or new products are coming in the market with new brand names. Now those new brand names will take the case study or take the, it will study already existing component. It will try to come up with new features, few or one or two new features, so that they can come up with a new mark of their own. That is all about legality or illegality of the parts what we are using. And if you talk about what is reverse engineering, what actually, as I said, duplication of an existing component or sub-assemblies or product without the aid of what you can call, without using, now here I'll just mention one more point, without using any drawing or document, we can prepare a component. Now the person who is actually preparing the component or prepared the component, he'll work on many things, like financial things he'll work on, and whether it will sustain to the conditions or not, he'll analyze the things, he'll do many other things. But in a reverse engineering process, ultimately we'll try to extract the data of the efforts kept by some other person, and we'll try to extract the data and we use it for some other reasons. Okay, so legality, illegality also plays a critical role in this case. Okay. Now then, if there is any legal proceedings in such process, why we are using it? What are the reasons behind? Let us talk about reasons of implementing reverse engineering. When there are some legal proceedings, why to use reasons? Now this will help you if you take permission and do for your procedures. It will help you to improve product documentation. It will help you to improve product documentation. You can further improve the improvement, I can call it as. It is also used under modernizing of software products. Already there is some existing softwares available to implement reverse engineering and all. So, and to develop new component also, many other softwares are already available, but still we can make changes to make it more and more user friendly. We can modernize of software product, modernizing of software product. Okay, other than this can be used to develop new components related to Air Force, related to Indian, Army or military. Okay, so those kind of functions can also be performed. Corporate, or you can call it as military application. Someone has developed something with some data which is completely confidential or something, that can be taken with some permissions and that can be implemented with few changes. And for security reasons also, security adaptations it is one of the reason. Again, why becomes a question, reasons, or why reverse engineering, reason tools, and why to make a new component. Many other questions comes in the mind of a student. A product changes, then already existing product will have some features, is able to do some task, and with some modernization and add-on features to that particular component, it may perform more better than the current existing component. That is the main motto. And the first and foremost question comes in anyone's mind is, when you have an engineering which is forward engineering. Okay. Forward engineering is all about from the concept level, need of the customer. It starts at the need of the customer, then conceptual drawing, design engineering, then analysis of the model, documentation, communication to the CAM system, then process planning, then procurement of required tools, machine tools, manpower, material, fixtures, jigs, then starts production, then quality checking, then dispatch to the customer. This is the general process whenever you talk about engineering, which is forward engineering. Okay. Then what is this reverse engineering? Just have a glance. We'll have a glance at forward engineering, nothing but what we are learning from our basics. Okay, also known as renovation or reclamation process. Okay, this forward engineering also known as renovation, or you can call it as these are the other names given. CLM, reclamation. These are the other names given. Okay. Now to develop this, develop any of the model by using forward engineering, a person or the management need to be, or the firm need to be high proficiency skills. They need to require high proficiency skills, without which developing the component is not so easy. Okay. High proficiency skills, nothing but they need to be very much familiar, very much good with the material selection, process selection, and sequence of operations, and in-time submission of the project. Okay. Other than that, the hand calculations related, whether the component or the material will sustain to the conditions or not. By doing some structural or some thermal analysis, we can come to a conclusion. Now, where in this particular forward engineering, we'll start from the scratch level. We don't have any masterpiece or base to develop the model. We start from the beginning. Whereas in reverse engineering, you have everything in front of you. The model is in front of you. Only thing is we need to scan, get the data, and do the process. Now this will take more time, and reverse engineering will take less time. Okay, because of use of this kind of equipments. Okay. Now this reverse engineering, the other name of reverse engineering, you can call it as I'm calling this as forward engineering, you can call this as backward engineering, because we are trying to develop the model in a reverse way. Now let us conclude all these with simple sketch. Okay. I'll just try to figure out, just to make you understand. I'll try to put some circles here, 1, 2, maybe 3. Okay, I kept some 5 circles here. I'll try to name it now. First one, ask. I'll just name it as ask. Okay. Now when we have already discussed about the legal and illegal procedures will be there or not. Now we need to approach on a firm which is fabricating such kind of models which we are in need of. You have to talk to them, you have to have proper documentation authenticated. Then once that is done, we need to imagine few of the things or the criterias based on the society where we would like to market the model. Okay, then we need to plan things. We need to plan few of the things and how to do the procedure, what are the process plannings or process schedulings that has to be planned before production. Okay, then finally part is created. Okay, now in this process of creation, you might include or incorporate few of the features related, then that is nothing but improvement. Okay, now the procedure will go this way: 1 2 3, then again 4, this becomes 5, this is 6. This is a cyclic process. It starts by asking a question: why reverse engineering, why we want to perform the task. If the firm or existing component company feel that whatever the statement given by you is perfect or correct, then they'll come up with some data. Then you need to imagine some few things related, and few data related, then we'll plan things, create things, and improve the procedure. Now other than this, you can call it as simply, I just put it with a simple arrowheads. I call this as reverse engineering, this as 2 arrowheads. Okay. Now this is from top to bottom. We are going nothing but product identification, why that product is required, nothing but need of the customer. Then comes concept drawing, design engineering, analysis of the product. All these procedures will come. Then accurate designing. Okay, then process planning, then production, then comes maintenance once it is produced to the market. Okay. This is all about forward engineering. When you talk about reverse engineering, which starts at the bottom, lift to the top. Now the base here is not the need of the customer, not the concept. Here it is part product which is already existing in the market. Okay, we would like to make some changes, or we would like to improve the efficiency of that particular product. Then knowledge extraction, geometrical extraction you can call it. One more is geometrical extraction. Then 3D rebuilding, 3D model or 3D structure, 3D model. This is how it will go. Okay, this is the forward engineering. After finishing the part, that part taken as the first step for reverse engineering, it will be reversed. In a reversed way it will be taken. This is the complete information related to complete reverse engineering. Okay, other than this, what are the different tools available in this particular, other than this scanning machines and all, what are the tools available in this particular reverse engineering? I'll just try to make a point here again. Reverse engineering tools related to reverse engineering are simple tools. Just try to remember this. You can call it as APK tool. This might be a question for your examination. Okay, and DEX to JAR, like the way we have seen for 3D modeling, Creo, CATIA, SolidWorks. In the same way, DStorm 3 version, Valgrid, likewise, etc. Likewise, you have many more tools related to reverse engineering which will help to develop the component in a more accurate way. Okay, this is all about reverse engineering. If you find any difficulty, you can comment in the box given below. Please do subscribe and share the channel for more information to upload. Thank you for now.